Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That's me, the Babbler. That's me on this revolutionary ride that's happening here at this motherfucking time. Welcome to all living beings that come into this stream of consciousness connecting you and me. Hello. So it's interesting, this is going to be a little like I'm Bob the Builder. Although these messages are timeless, these videos are timeless, whenever you find yourself here is whenever you find yourself here. Time is intertwined, right? Because whenever you come into your majestic line of the synchronistic time, then, that's when you find yourself here. But it is Father's Day. 2022, right? Anyways, this got nothing to do with Father's Day. Just referencing your point of this human condition time. And I'm just making a little tree wrap for a hallway that this will be beneficial for. So I got it from Amazon. Now, I'm not no Bobette the Builder, but sometimes I don't do things backwards. I swear it's like a left-handed condition. Sometimes actually I did. Because in the beginning I had already started doing it incorrectly. and then I fixed it. Okay. So, and then I was just like, all right, let me record. Because I've been wanting to. But also I have been not wanting to. Not wanting to. Not about like recording, but just like in the energy, like I like to pay attention to me. If not now, then when? If not me, then who, right? That's how I want you to look at you too. So anyways, it's gonna be like some chat time too, and I will post some articles too, but if you're not into the babbling stream and whatever, and a lot of things fly over your head, you know what I mean? Either way, it's alchemy. These are the things that I read, and that's just how it be. The rise to consciousness, awareness, and being, for your own self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, there's nothing that you can give me that I can't give myself. And vice versa. Let that verse help your unity verse, right? So, anyway, I went up a step ahead and I didn't even move another step. Because I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, so, whatever. So we grow, right? We grow. Oh, it's lagging. I see this after. Did it catch up? I hope so. Whatever. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so, I'm like, if you're new to my channel or you're not new to my channel, I don't really care. I'm gonna speak how I speak in the reference of how I speak in regards to me. If you have any questions that you might feel like, hey, I don't know that, or I didn't see that video, or where can I go, like whatever the case may be, then communicate that. But other than that, I'm just gonna speak. Because I am, after all, speaking to myself the first time through, and it's just hilarious, to get into character of mirror self talk in this kind of, utopian way, although it serves a purpose in its own way, and it's all part of this conditioned state of being and modes of operation in this multidimensional universe that exists, and the tools that we have to activate we don't even what? are we attuned to, and that's part of our conditioning too, and then also our own consciousness, awareness, and free will, and getting through and seeing through certain kind of aspects too, and not repeating cycles that do not serve you. You know what I mean? And so the ride be like, right? So it's interesting. So like, I'm repping in although I used to even reference it like a Peter Pan syndrome, even in myself that I identify with, like, or that, um, I'm a boy the rescue. Um, I'm never gonna grow up like that kind of thing, and and it feels that way. Like, it's not manufactured or make believe. Like it's giggly, right? And so giggly would be my state of true being. Um, before conditioning and drama and trauma and all this kind of stuff. So you know when you work on yourself and you do deliberate things and it's just you vibe with yourself and those kind of things, um it's just the way it be, right? What was I saying? I just started, and here I go. I'm starting again. But what was I saying? Am I gonna build this, or am I gonna talk? Because I don't think I could do both. I don't think that I could do this and that at the same time. Oh, right, right. So, I was going with the age reference and stuff, but like in human coin terms of mathematics. I'm repping 40 M years old and plus club, right? And so it's just interesting, the dynamics of me only being able to speak for myself and my own human experience that I keep being guided to share more of because stories fulfilled my life. But private be my stripes, and I'm like, whatever. So I have grown accustomed in my own evolution to be comfortable and discussing and sharing certain things that I find my resolution in. Um, Eventually, for educational purposes, of course, or references and things like that. But most of the time, when I share that which is of my personal info, let's say, it's usually way after the fact. You get what I'm saying? Like it's never the present day at 411. You know what I'm saying? It's like the things we learn for the educate happened long, long time ago. So those seeds that I sow and the expressions that I give and the way that I story tell because I live, how I express, and that's just how it be. Expression be me, that free, like colorful be me, right? And so when a lot of people receive and there's a lot of emotion behind my expressive being because ice moon be my life, right? Along with the aquatic waters trying to give me that helping me balance and finding that quirky alchemy that does exist within my being in terms of eccentricities and curlies and just how I be, right? So I'm going to use this as a mic. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So whether this be my state of evolution, however we want to associate, our cognitive intellectualism, is where we resonate in terms of information and facts and how we process life and information and and connection and what this is all about and how we view it and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's interesting, right? And as for myself, I am always in a state of constant growth and evolution. At least that's how I like to see it. And so there's no one state that I have ever been in that, although the, let's say, the morality is the same, or the um, concept of generic function of feeling, emotion, and experience, I want it to be like that same overall effect and stuff like that. But like, there's never been a place that I have visited or been on that I still am on, right? So like, this goes in terms of like wars that just keep going out and out over motherfucking things. Like, you haven't found a resolution yet? Like, you want to maybe go in and reflect, so you can introspect, so we can resolute this pollute, so that we can optimize and this harmonize, so we can get in line, or you just want to be about that same shit all the time. Like, that shit is burnt out, man, right? So it's like, whatever, but that's perspective, and that's just evolution, and that's just revolution, and that's neither here nor there, it's just everywhere. And, I'm getting a sense of how it is. I am the mushroom. Come with me. We walk into and we leap into the rabbit hole, you see, because adventures be me. Okay? So, right. So, me. And I guess I have to associate this, and I really do. And I strongly associate this. I know astrology too, just see whatever. You don't have to get hung up on anything kind of dynamics. I have fought and still argue certain kind of things that astrology would be saying about, oh, this, that, or birth chart kind of stuff. And I was just like, that's not true. That's not true. So, I don't take anything as absolute, but it's important to pay attention to the things that resonate within our beings as our truth reflectors. You know what I mean? And the things that how we are going to choose to perceive and reflect and introspect and decide for ourselves. Like, right? So it's like unlearning that which you have or believe yourself to know and really get into your know. That's what this channel is really all about. Like, I promote that in every different kind of way, even if my videos be different or I babble on for days, like babble on. we go on and unify our quantify of our own inner sanctify. You're delicious and nutritious, and so you must act it and be it and feel it all the time. And in this 3D perceived reality, that's motherfucking hard to stay in that kind of wave forever day, right? In this human conditioned state. But either way, I like to participate in the optimism crew that no matter what, we always have a choice. And how we choose is going to be creator of that which we create. So, you know what I mean? And we have all our moments, right? But that was like way off. But the whole point I was trying to make was that I have come to this point, and this argument, inner argument or growth spurt that is trying to have its way within me. It's like, don't take advantage of me just because I'm a little bit more socializing or a little bit more extroverted in my ways of entertain, or expression, or platforms that I use, because artistry be my groove and poetess too, and it's just be that curly smooth wave that I'm expression in that kind of way. And for so long, part of my creation of being, public and sharing in my different forms of enchanting babble, was allowing myself to express myself, thinking and comparing myself to that which is popular or celebrated or idolized, or in a certain type of look that you have to have, or a certain kind of connection you must have, or this you must do, or credentials too, and all this kind of stuff too, and all that hard up stuff. This is why, like, all my platforms are freestyle. And I stand behind that. And I even, have had people say, oh, you want to elevate and whatever, you need to do this, that, and that kind of way, and all this kind of stuff. And I understand what you're saying. But, I'm just here to do what is natural to me. And all that extra credit shit and all that other stuff too. Granted, I like to take pictures and photographs too and all that kind of stuff, but like there's a lot of things that I just don't do. Nor do I have any desire to want to do. So I've grown accustomed to just freestyle, no edits, and we just keep it going. And I've learned to appreciate that for myself, like, and let it be organic and raw and that kind of, health well stuff. And just it is what it is, like, whatever. What was the whole point of that? Oh yeah. So, but in all my sharings and all my doings and all this kind of stuff, like all those like revolutionary, evolutionary. But when it comes to topics of like let's say conversation or personalization or something like that, I tend to share when I do, right? Whenever that is for educational purposes too. I'm just gonna, reiterate that too of why I'm sharing. It's not because I'm just publicizing more gossiping because that don't mean my life. Especially for the kind of alignment of work that I do and the type of quality of like I value the the world that I'm honored to be a part of in terms of like spirituality and just motivation, inspiration, and use like sensations and ways and just connecting with people that really value what I have to say or want guidance in some kind of way, that's a rhetoric in some kind of way or divination, or not the traditional route, and that's what I like be all about and stuff like that, and then just a vibe is a vibe, you know what I mean? And it's just the way that it's always been, you know what I mean? And for people to trust, right? And to, I get emotional, but to be on that, like, you know, um, that's like an honor. You don't play with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even think like that. Like, seriously, like, when people, like, you're not like in the energy of healer dynamic light work, and just taking back your power and really starting to stand up for yourself and do what you love and trust and trust in the process and um working on yourself and healing and doing a whole bunch of like, commendable like things that you're doing or whatever brings you here, whichever capacity or way. Like, you're all about your evolution and your elevate and that the kind of like energy I love to participate and be a part of in every kind of way. I don't know what I was gonna say, I forget what the people and my nerves got in the way because that's part of my human conditioning that I'm working on, like, like my own anxieties too, and sharing too. So, yeah. So, wait, but yeah, like, you know, so, I get emotional, I get worked up. Right. So, but anyway, um, what was I? Am I gonna build this thing? Oh my God. So, oh yeah. Okay. So that's what I was saying. So I don't know, but I'm gonna go back to the original kind of thing. What I was saying, I don't know what I was saying right now, so I don't even know. But maybe it's possible. Maybe be nice. Um. So, so this builds up of my own public um platforms that I have um embarked on over the last however long years. I have no concept of time, but it's been quite a while, right? YouTube channel, um, with my Instagram, you know, there's newer platforms like TikTok and um, stuff, whatever. But the ones that I'm fond of, have been, with my blogger, um, Instagram, and YouTube. Those are the ones I love, although I might have others. Like those are the ones that I generally tend to focus upon when I focus upon my social media. Like you know what I'm saying? So what was I saying? So yeah, so for educational purposes and for the reasons that I do, whenever I share something or a reference in my life too, it's in past tense kind of be like, you know what I mean? It's never any kind of present energy or whatever the case may be, right? But you know, with every inner fight that's amping itself up to take flight, it takes as long as it's going to take for each individual in different kind of ways. Like for me, like with my YouTube, getting comfortable in that which I was recording and stuff like that, it took about 2 years. It took about 2 years before I stopped changing the filters from yellow and wasn't able to play back any of my videos because I would want to leave it now. delete, delete. Right. Oh, that was what I was saying before too. Ebony, um, now to really forget. Like, but we're gonna get through. We're gonna get through and we're gonna build this too, okay? Maybe if I just talk into here and now into there and you just feeling it here and listen, you know, talk about a bunch of different things or whatever at once. But if you this is your moment to hit subscribe, are you subscribed? Especially if you're tuning in into like the dynamics of this babble and stuff like that, knowing that I have yet to like do anything for you, like, you know, full oracle card too, but there's mana in here for all who eat the fuck the mana, eat the fuck the mana, eat the fuck the mana, yeah, that's true. You see? As you do the greatest deed that is designed by, you know, divinity in whichever way that it's gonna be and do the part that I came to play and activate in my own motherfucking lane and I'll stay that way, activate, celebrate, and everything else that got nothing to do with me, got nothing to do with me. Peaceful being my stream. And you know, that comes with like, you know, experience, time and wisdom. Like think about it. Like in terms of because I used to pop off. And not so much, oh my god, like, you know, it's from Brooklyn, she pop off. No, but you know, like when you come from violence or trauma and all this kind of stuff, and your habitat is toxic as, you know, fudge and all this kind of stuff, you develop, you know, coping mechanisms, behaviors, patterns, and conditionings, and ways of operating that might not necessarily be for your best interest either, but it was just, you know, due to your conditioning and how do you heal in the environment that which made you sick and all this kind of stuff and all this kind of stuff. What was the heck? Right. Anyway, like, what is the whole point of anything, right? But that's the whole thing. So all these things take time, whatever it is that we do, we design and stuff like that. And so part of my documenting and sharing and also helping, you know, whatever, there's like no scripts and things like that, is sharing, like, you know, and connecting in that kind of way, even though it's kind of like a monologue or a mirror talk. There's a therapy that goes into that too. You know what I mean? Like imagine just being like a journal, right? In some kind of way, right? Some kind of activity of helping you to speak to yourself, address yourself, like identify yourself, acknowledge yourself, right? See yourself, you know, in a different perspective, one that you might miss sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And so part of that development with me creating my YouTube channel has been something like that. Like for me to see myself, which was hard, right? To like for like first 2 years or so, like I couldn't even pay the shit back. No, right? And I had to, and there's points that I had to. And my thing is no deleting, so I don't have any deleted like videos. And some I put back in private. But that came years later, and I excused it and I justified it just because I might like release that one from the dungeon or whatever. But anyways, so right, so in this process of my own progress and my own, development here with this freestyle nation of evolution and revolution and eat the fucking mana that's here for you or whatever the case may be, the spirit of feed of alchemy that is just healing and every kind of degree, even like a musicality and it's just that I even help people sleep. Some people don't listen to any of the videos that I have to say. They're like, oh, but when I put it on, I go to sleep in every kind of way. I'm like, oh, shit. Go to sleep. I don't know how to say that. Whatever it's gonna be for you, it's gonna be for you. You know what I mean? So, what was I saying? Right. So, but where I'm at now, too, in my own evolution and revolution, is also in my opening up, sharing presence in my own kind of way. And cryptic be my way, because poetess is my other natural state of express, because poetry is what I do best, especially when human emotion and that kind of explosion is challenging to be vulnerable, right? Even out to them to yourself, right? To say it clearly. It's like matter of fact, right? So, um, but our language could be so colorful and descriptive, animated than just, oh, I like you. Okay. I like me too. Okay. Celebrate. So it's just interesting. So like I have very strong somatic, like shamanic type go into my cave. And although I am on social media and stuff like that, I have my platform, probably be my life and to keep it to be, and I don't be sharing shit. Presently, when nobody, unless you are in, and you can't even say in the circle because the revolution of life, knowing things too, like, you know, some people are passing you by. Soulmates can be the kind of tie or that kind of kinetic chemistry, kind of experience, kind of vibe. Oh, I like you, so tribe. Like, you know what I'm saying? But not everybody is forever. You know what I mean? So to hold on to that and having to learn those harsh realities of lessons of what feel like loss, even though, you could think the heart of loss can be death. And granted, there's no coming back from that, but to know that you have lost people in your life that you maybe hadn't ever imagined that you would, and they're still breathing today. You get what I'm saying? Like that kind of just strain or, wow, I used to know you. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's not with any kind of bitter, um, woe or foe that I have towards anyone or any memory that's been coming into mind. I'm just seeking understanding that, things pass and life continues. And those that are going to be with you are going to be with you for however long they're going to be with you. You know what I'm saying? And 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 all we can do is just cherish the time, that we have. I think I was gonna get emotional for that, but you know, so it's just interesting. Like, um, like we're experiencing in this world this mass like awakening, spiritual awakening, people awakening to themselves. And, I don't want to be like all hypocritical, like all judgmental, and like putting people in boxes and evolutionary development and all this kind of stuff, whatever the case may be. But like, like when so what I said as a description that I gave the other day, we were celebrating something, and there's people that I love surrounding me, and so safe I was in my environment to speak free about just certain things. And so and I'm just like I'm I've come to a place that now I'm ready to open the door of possibility, infinite possibility in terms of, you know, people, places, things, and just a different understanding, and also understanding and respecting um, my independence, my my own boundaries, having better understanding of my understanding, and having a very long life kind of experience to have hopefully evolve and learn from, in ways. And so, how I put this, you like so one of the expressions that I gave is like, I did something and I engaged. And it's like for me, the description that I give coming out of my, and too, think about it, like I'm, I hate using labels and definitions and terminologies and stuff, but it's just for our linguistic and understanding purposes. But like, my celibacy um, lifestyle, like, and it's not that, oh, you don't have relations, doesn't mean you don't have relationships and stuff, but for the amount of years I go in between those kind of things, one can say one chooses to live like kind of like a celibate or like reserved lifestyle in that kind of way. And it's not that I'm opposed to having relations or intimacies. It's just like I guess I'm very peculiar about way and you've used the phrase. It has nothing to do with no option. Are you fucking kidding me? There's an option on every corner of life to entertain. You get what I'm saying? It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with fear or tainted from past relationships and all this kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with any of this kind of things. It's just, I guess, when you're a peculiar, eccentric soul, you got peculiar, eccentric taste, and so you just not like it when someone piques your interest, you notice. And until that notice comes into play, there ain't nothing to entertain, right? And no matter the type of, like, and people be like, too, because I hear the signs. Hold on, because I feel him here and I feel him. But anyway, so it doesn't matter, like, and I don't have to explain. Oh, I'm seeing my phone. Did it light up? Is it good? Okay, I think it's good. We don't need to explain our preferences, choices, and all this kind of stuff. And you know, all the walks of life and types of people we may have turned away from or didn't give a chance and all that kind of stuff. But I'm evolutionary and I'm revolutionary unto myself. And it is one thing that I'm always trying to understand is even me, my own innocence, and trust that as curly as I can be, is as swirly as my life can seem, even unto me. And it's like, you think I have never asked myself what's wrong with me? But when we get into the sense of authentic, of accepting our authentic nature, of just like being that kind of different in some kind of way, and you know, you start putting in the love factor in that kind of way because you're growing your value towards yourself, you know, and that's work and all that stuff. Um, Even in that environment, you're up against a strong, what feels like a strong environment that winning or more popular or more beautiful or more wealthier, more successful than just you, you know. But then you grow from that environment too. And so you get this self-acceptance kind of um, energy, synergy that comes later. You know, it's not like when it's happening. Because when it's happening, you're going through the transition and you're working through the triggers and you're healing and you're feeling and you're dealing and you're, you know, glad that it's happening and stuff like that. So I try not to get so trapped into superficiality. And I usually have strong opinions about just mindset of the illusions of many superficiality. And so I don't like to be snobbish or thinking I'm better than something or even thinking of a bitter seed or some kind of energy. But we gotta work through all sides of every coin and see all truths, light and shadow and all aspects and stuff. So like let's say like going into the dating world, right? All these dating apps and places you can explore and shop and you know what you're told. And the realities of of superficiality can't be ignored, right? Like, what is your initial draw to someone you see on a dating app? What they look like, right? And then next comes your um, next preference that you check for, and then that continues, and then you know, and then you try to match yourself superficially with that which you think you see, right? And I think about that, right? I really think about that, and so like on one of the dating apps, they ask you, What is something you wish everybody would know, or that you wish everybody knew? Like what is something that you wish everybody knew or could know? My answer. I wish everybody could knew themselves. Right? I wish everybody knew themselves. That would be helpful. Right? Knew themselves, sought to understand themselves, understanding, and how true that be. And I just think about this world, like even on like the social media thing, like the big emphasis on visual appearance. I came across some video talking about how they have these um, video creating apps that have automatic filters, and that there are people getting paid like lots of money using these like filter thingies, um, and getting paid for doing videos based on this image that they're really not, but like like whatever, and that it's an actual business. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Beauty nature patterns, right? Um, right. Controversial, assessing, new perspectives, right? So maybe you who's here, if you actually listening to all this babbling too, like maybe you in a, a moment or coming out of, whether you're coming out of it or in it or going into it or whatever, but it's like this hermit kind of mode of introspection, of just noticing the patterns and or starting to understand too, better your patterns, you know what I'm saying, and assessing these conditionings of the world and the way that the world is and the way things are, and really getting into your own discriminating, like I don't want to use the way I look down and I feel discriminating with this air element card, but like it's with your intellect, right? It's like a new wave of wisdom that is formulating in your own evolution, that is now leading and directing your next creational kind of stuff, right? And certain kind of assessments might be controversial, might be you might feel more opinionated or gutsy or bold to express yourself more, or to stand in your power more, or to build too, right? Um, and feeling empowered too. But I don't know, but there's still I want to say, and I'm hearing it, and I don't mean to offend anybody in any kind of way, because I think about it in myself too, in terms of a cowardice energy that is like part of the collective energy too, that traps people into feeling disempowered in some kind of way, that not everybody expresses their true opinion or full expression of opinion out loud for fear of, you know, being canceled or condemnation or being judged or being ridiculed or um, being misunderstood or like rejected or whatever the case may be, or losing out on certain, and a lot of it has to do with certain kind of, currency, Like, damn, if I say this or I opinionate on that, I can lose opportunities in this and that and that. So I'm just gonna stay and act like Switzerland over here, but really not feel like Switzerland. Right? If Switzerland represents peace and neutrality and energy, then your energy should be peace and neutrality. But if it's choosing Switzerland off of a fake, of a funk, of a cowardice, of an act, and hidden is that kind of, deception in some kind of way, then that's just that, in that kind of way. But strength, courage, and bravery, right? So getting into our strength, our courage, and our bravery to really be who we are, be who you are, even if you stand alone. Right, but going back to like the lightheartedness of like collaboration, meetings, community. So there's like this talk about you. This talk about you in many rooms, some rooms, one room, whatever the case would be, a group chat, whatever. And it doesn't have to be bad at that. It could be like maybe a new company or a new society, a new opportunity, company, job, role, um, whatever it be. It's an opportunity to collaborate, um, and to of something, or it could be maybe you are, building something, creating something, networking something, um, asking for something, waiting on a promotion, or not expecting one but getting one, or yeah, and that kind of stuff. Um, right? And it's all tied to like I'm saying like the Ouroboros too. So it's like all tied to that which you've been cycling into your world of creation, period. Like you've been working on you, you've been doing you. You have been consistent, persistent. And for those of you that don't feel like you have been, like you feel like you have not done as much as you can do, this is the golden moment of opportunity for you to seize that and say, this is how I'm going to improve myself in that kind of way so that I don't feel this kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Right? So it's like the patterns, the nature, the patterns that you're creating. But and it's also closing cycles and allowing yourself the opportunity for more expansion, right? Going past your boundary and your perimeter or whatever the case that word is going to be, but like going past the threshold of that what you think you can see and really giving yourself like opening the door to opportunity. Right? So that was meant to be still shall be, right? And be on some real like, abundant train, visions, manifesting, meditations, right? Unconditional love, excitement, laughter, having things to look forward to, right? Um, right? And it's raising to the awareness of you to corrupt and ethical cults, like people that might gossip about you, people that might not want what's best for you, or people do and read that how you want, but like however you want to see. But right, those energies just wanna like free too, like with your independence and your peace, right? Knowing that you're sensitive too, you know what I'm saying? So be mindful of those kind of energies too that just want to stick to you. You know what I mean? Right? Because you are an inspiration, and there are certain things, right? So certain messages coming in too. So you might receive like a telegram. A telegram. I don't know what the fuck is a telegram. A telegram, a message, a text, an email, a letter. Ooh, you could send me a letter. I'm actually, you know what I mean? I mean, the society, integration, life lessons, right? So, like, your tree is expanding, your tree of life is expanding, it's opening up, right? So, it's like, so, like, let's say, like, you're here thinking that this is like your tree, but mind you, oh, branches grew, and it's like, oh wait, there's more too, and you're just like continuing, right? Um, right, there could be some romance too coming in, right? Like, having admired, right? You're creating something. So you're creating something, you're stepping into something, right? You're manifesting something, right? While also getting to know yourself too, right? So I feel like there's a mixed crowd here too, in terms of where you're at in your evolution. Like for some, you still are exploring your identity, getting to know yourself more, and trying to figure that out. And there might be triggers that are happening for you that are helping you to figure that out. And it might not be pleasant in every single kind of way, but it's necessary, especially if you want to activate, right? So it's like, okay, mama's pushing you in front of the train, like what you gonna do? But don't get hit by the train, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it's just like, yeah, look at that shit. Growing up, responsibilities, lessons, and growing up, and it's just a part of it, right? But for some, like too, you might be uncertain, like guarded, in some kind of way, through attunement and some kind of healing exercise or regimen or way of activating the polarity of the fact, through your consciousness to make it that way. It's like taking the steps that are needed, even though they're not easy steps to take them anyways because that's what you want, right? Even if you're shy, there's some of you that are to step into the light, you have to get past your own leveling of shy and just, you know, be your own sense of pride in your own limelight, whether you are accepted by others or not. Like, you know what I mean? And that was like another thing, like, you know, all this comparison and stuff like that, and just like this consciousness to the superficiality of just so many different things, and you know, the factuality of a lot of our conditioning is, you know, like there has to be a leveling of attraction that we have towards another, um, to be passionately ignited. I'm not talking about lustfully ignited either. And like, you know, there's a lot of lust running around calling itself love and, you know, possession and obsession and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm just a big advocate on healthy, wealthy, selfie kind of all intimacies and relationships and partnering in whatever kind of degree, whether it be love or career, you know, part, like, you know, whatever it be. I'm just all for healthy, you know, no toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I just feel like there's a big application to your own integration at this time, right? That is happening, and that's a good place to be, right? Let's see what that one says. Finger on. I gotta start going. Anyway, and here, hold on. Okay, we're gonna go. Then here we go. The ancient Hebrew Kabbalah, tree of life map, structurally evolved from the flower of life, sacred geometry, and was used by ancient Jewish magi and mystics, which later introduced Hermetic Kabbalah. The tree of life is the esoteric blueprint describing the psychological principles, practices, and energy forces, emanations that lead on the pathway to the unnameable, omnipresent cosmic God. Not including that, the tree of life contains 10 interconnected spheres, sephiroth, that represent specific archetypical states of the human psyche. These emanating sephiroths have a cause and flow and effect to activate other sephiroths through the 22 varying paths lines connecting the sephiroths as follows. Which is kind of like it's like this. So that's what I was kind of saying, like even in your connection. So as within exudes on out, that's what they be all about, right? And everything is in essence a reflection of that which is something else, and that may have been intangible, tangible, or whatever the case may be. But everything is a a composite deposit of something else, an essence stream, or coming into being. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, like something else is always responsible for the creation of something else, regardless of how you want to put it in some kind of way. So the connecting of the dots in that kind of way, one activates the other. Like it's like this continuous activation of something more that is created infinitely or expands, right, on these lands. And anything that happens multidimensionally is happening multidimensionally everywhere. Oh, why is that on? I don't know. But okay, so let's follow. What was I gonna say? Crown is Kether, wisdom is Chakma, understanding is Binah, kindness is Chest, discipline is Gevurah, beauty is Tiferet, eternity is Netzach, splendor is Had, foundation is Yisad, kingship is Malkut. Right, so card meaning it's all about cause and effect, right? Progress, like lessons, learning from your lessons, results, improving, integration, right? And those kind of things, which is yeah, please, thank you. All right, so yeah, so there are activations happening at this moment in time in terms of your own, because this is mystic Martian oracle, right? So I always say like alienation, we're aliens into ourselves, and then the part of the one of the most fascinating and awesome parts of our own discovery and recovery is our own discovery recovery. Ah! Hold on. Anywho, so new activations can be scary. They can be, but exciting. They sure are too. And it's like a new chapter for you, and opening up the portal of your own evolution in alchemy for yourself at this time. So if it's something new that you're trying at this time, and even if it's a new way, a new approach, a new something, it's part of this activation that you're asked to not be afraid of, nor to self-sabotage with old behaviors, patterns, and conditionings and ways of thinking that don't serve your right now. And being trusting, even though, in the past you may have gotten foul or whatever the case may be, but to be honorable to be and how you feel about certain kind of things, but not to deny yourself the opportunity to really give it your all. Believe in yourself. Try something new. Eat that too. you know, um, do what you need to do to get what you want in honor of your truth and in authenticity too. You know, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Right? Let me see. One more card. Know the difference between shame and guilt. Guilt equals I did something bad. Shame equals I am something bad. Spend today identifying guilt and shame. If guilt comes up, find a way to make amends. Shame is the devil, though. Kick it in the dick. I did not say that. But yeah, how that even ties in. But just even it ties in, sometimes, you might be doing a certain kind of thing that's new, this activation that's new to you, that, the challenge might be that others might be like, who's this new you that I see that might be in conflict with them too? Or just, owning the sense of you and the new that is you. Don't be shameful, don't feel guilty for being able to move past your environment, your surroundings, and, holy shit, because you are enough, right? Right? So what will happen if you let yourself drop all the reasons you made up about why you're not good enough? What if you tried it just for today? You can always go back to believing you're not enough tomorrow. But you may find you like the way it feels to like yourself, like really, really like yourself, kind of nice, right? Hey, yeah. So awesome. Anywho, I really do gotta go. Anyways, I gotta finish this later too. Either way, keep, expanding your tree of activating life that is helping your tree to grow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, until next time. Love and divine alchemy to you. Are you subscribed to my channel too? Hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up too. That helps me. Algorithm rules. I don't know. But yeah, and there will be a master link that I shared that links us on every single platform too. I am also, you can follow me on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. That's me, the one and only. You can also go to witchyutopian.com, and then you can also follow me on TikTok, Utopian Cupcake, or Cupcake, something like that. But either way, all the information will be in the description.